Hello, my name's Circus Stu. I'm also a scientist, a chemist actually, but I've done psychology and bits of biology and bits of computer science and lots of things in my scientific life. And today we're going to look at the problem of psychology of fear, and we're going to have a look at that with relation to the circus. So, what makes us fear? Well, there are several things that can cause us to be fearful. Common things are caused by physical symptoms such as heights, which make you dizzy, or an underlying emotional response, for example, a lack of control or embarrassment. And there's some debate over whether it's learned behaviour or whether it's observed and adopted. But there are solutions to this. Repeated exposure should lead to less fear, as the outcome is less of a mystery and you can gain confidence. So you may all be very aware of signs of embarrassment that we all have. Things like downward gaze, touching your face, head turning away, even blushing. So what can we do to sort that out? Well, I'm going to take an example from slacklining. So for instance, here is a slackline. I'm going to throw it out. So slacklining is a bit like tightrope walking, except for you have this slack line to walk on. So the first thing you can do with slackline is just practice in a really safe environment, i.e. on the floor. So let's see what it looks like. You can even try tricks, and there's no harm because we all know we're stable on the floor. What happens if we change it so it's no longer like that, but it becomes very scary? Let's have a quick look. I'll set it up now for us. And voila, we have a slackline set. Now, I normally slackline just half a metre off the ground. What's this going to be like for me? As you can see, not very safe and quite scary really. So that is a bad way of learning a new skill, doing something scary straight away without assistance. So what can we do next? Let's lower the line. Okay, I've lowered the line down to about 30 centimeters, such that you can stand on it at a middle point and your feet can be on the ground. So this has the advantage that you can now have a go at slacklining. You can tell people exactly how to do it, to walk on the yellow line as before. Their feet can be mainly on the line and a bit on the floor, and as they get closer to the anchor points, they start coming slightly higher off the ground and can start having to feel that balancing that you have to do on a wobbly slack line. So when you have someone to train you to be there beside you, that can also help dealing with fear. Because if they tell you and assure you how to do things, then you can learn in that state. So let's now raise the line a bit higher and see what it's like normally. Okay, as you can see, it's now set up and it's set to the normal height where it's safe to stand either side of it, so if you fall off you don't hurt yourself, and it's not too far off the ground so that if you do wobble, the grass is very close to you to just step off. So I shall give a little demonstration. So of course, I've been slacklining for a while, so that is relatively easy. Summarising, what do we know? We've learned that we need to recognise fear and then how best to change the environment to support working through the challenges. And we've discovered that repeated exposure to the thing that we're learning helps, and with slacklining it's done in small increments, making it really safe to start with, and then making it less, so it's really not scary at all, and then making it slightly scary until you're finally at the desired height. And then we've also learnt that it's best to have someone beside you who's a teacher who can give you hints, who can share useful things on how to do the thing you're trying to do. And that helps make it less scary. And it's been shown in studies that if you have a teacher and you have someone alongside you, a fellow pupil of a similar, who's similar to you, often the same sex works better, then that also helps. So having those kind of things can help us learn in a better environment, so that when we're faced with something scary, whether it be something physical or something that's mentally taxing, for example doing an audition in front of the whole school, solo, something like that, there are ways we can deal with those situations to reduce the fear, to help get us more used to doing those things. So that's Circus Stu from Circus Skills York signing off. Hope you've enjoyed this. So a challenge for you to think about something that you want to or need to learn in the near future, and then how can you apply the principles I've talked about in these short 5 minutes to that situation. There we are, have a go and see what you can get up to. Bye.